Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to the 1st of November. We are on our way to Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hey, hope your October was well as we close out this week, starting the 1st of November. Hey, remember, before we get started here, that there are so many things that are out of our control. However, you can take control of your investment portfolio by knowing the amount of risk you have and making sure it lines up with the amount of risk you need to have for your retirement. Give me a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. Hey, with that, we'll be on the radio here in just a second.
Gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. 105.7 The Highlands, Light FM. It's 8:37. Time to head to Statler Financial Services in Sebring. Phillip's on the line, which means I have extra buttons I have to push. Let me see if I get this right. Phillip, are you with me there, buddy?
I am, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine, Phillip. How are you and your family? Everyone well, I hope?
Doing well. Yeah, it's been a long time since you and I have talked, and here it is, the 1st of November. That is hard to believe. It's Turkey Day is going to be here before we know it.
I know, and the election is almost out of the way. That's going to be here pretty soon. I'm kind of looking forward to getting the election passed us there, Phil.
I bet that kind of gives us a little bit more freedom, doesn't it?
Yeah, you bet. So what's
All
up?
right, well, let's talk about some finances today, Scotty. We we had our jobs report. Well, let's start first, I guess, with what happened yesterday. That'd probably be the biggest thing. It was not a pretty day yesterday at all, Scotty. It was pretty red. A matter of fact, yeah, I would say it was brutally red. Dow Jones Industrial 30 down 0.9%. That's down $378. It closed at 41,763. The S&P 500 was down a little over 1.8%, $108. It closed at $57.05. The Nasdaq was down 2.75%. That's $512, down to 18,095. And the Russell 2000 was down 1.6 or $36, closed at $2,196. So it was not a pretty day yesterday when it comes to Wall Street. And we start off the day today with some green ink, at least right now in the futures. But more importantly, that we're getting some numbers coming in. I want to go backwards just a little bit because before yesterday, when Dave and I were talking, we could not come up with a core PCE index number, and it posted a little later. But core PCE for September was on track. It was up 0.3%. That was what was expected. The year-over-year core CPE, though, PCE number was up 2.7, same as last month, but that was about 1/10 of a point more than what was expected. And then we run into today. Boy, I tell you, today you might say a pretty big disappointment on jobs. The expectation on the U.S. employment report was that we created 110 new jobs. And if you remember back earlier in the week, on Wednesday, ADP came out and said that they showed that we created 233,000 new jobs. Well, folks, the official number coming in was 12,000. Just 12,000 new jobs were created in the month of October. However, the unemployment rate stayed the same at 4.1%. That was a little bit lower than expected for sure, but it hasn't played much havoc on the futures yet. A matter of fact, the futures are liking that number. I'm thinking it's because it shows that there is a slowing of the growth. I mean, even the GDP number we had come out earlier this week indicates a slowing of growth. And that's what the Fed is going to want to see come next week when they have their meeting. So that's kind of what we're looking at now before we head into earnings. But earnings, Scotty, we did have a bunch of earnings come in today. I mean, we're in that time period where everything seems to be popping up on the screen. probably one of the biggest ones we've got today is Amazon. Amazon came in and they beat by 29 cents a share, came in at $1.43. They also came in ahead on revenue by about $1.5 billion. So when we look at their overall, some of their key metrics, they were basically in line. Amazon Web Services was off by just a touch, but their advertising came in at 14.3 billion as expected. So, but it does have Amazon trading up this morning, almost 7% before we get going. The other big guy in the room reporting was Apple. Apple, they also beat on their top and bottom line, but it was only by about 4 cents a share. They came in at $1.64. Revenue was just basically in line with expectations, but just a little miss there on expectations. The only real winner they had, as far as based on estimates, was the iPhone. The iPhone generated about almost $1 billion more in revenue than expected. I guess with the iPhone 16 coming out, that would help them there. Their price though is they are trading down a little bit, about 2.1% this morning, Scotty, before we get going here. We had two oil companies report, both Exxon, excuse me, and Chevron reported. Exxon, both of them beat on expectations. Exxon beat by 4 cents a share, came in at $1.92. However, they did miss on revenue by about $3 billion. And then Chevron, they came in and they beat by about 7 cents, 8 cents a share. Their revenue was ahead of expectations before we start trading this morning. If we look at their stock price, Exxon's up by 1.9. Chevron is up by 1.9 as well. So they're both doing pretty well there. The other news I want to talk about is that Boeing, it seems to me like they have come to an agreement. At least it seems like that. We thought we had an agreement before, but it seems like they have an agreement coming off. The new offer comes in, and they are planning on voting on that on Monday. It would give them a 38% raise over the next 4 years. And so we'll see what happens on Monday as we head into that to this weekend. I'm thinking, I'm just trying to look across my board here. I think that's all I've got this morning, Scotty, on that front. So where are we at right now? Well, man, the futures are skyrocketing this morning, not making up what they lost yesterday quite yet. The Dow Jones Industrial 30 is up $228. That's about a little over a half a point. The S&P 500 is up $32. That's almost 0.6. The NASDAQ 100 up $129. That's a little over 0.6%. Russell 2000 is up about the same, about 0.6. That's $13 before the market opens this morning. Hey, on the other side of the coin, we got silver. Still off its highs earlier this week, but up a half a point from its close yesterday to $32.96 an ounce. Gold up 0.6 at $2,765 an ounce. Crude oil, Scotty, get ready, man. Your gas tank's going to cost more now. It's up 2.6% this morning to $71.06 a barrel.
Okay. All right.
So we got some numbers there. Let's see. Let me go to this place. I don't usually have these numbers. All right, let's go to Dave usually does the European numbers. So let's see what they are. Let me pull them up here.
Okay.
So the European numbers are kind of following us. We've got pretty much all green ink across the board, anywhere from 0.5% to almost 0.9% in Europe. Asia, on the other hand, is a little bit mixed going into this morning as we get ready. We haven't talked about crypto much, but crypto this week crossed over $70,000. It's right now down about 0.1% to 70,243. So that's where we stand right now, folks. But listen, all the volatility, all the news coming out, it's important that you have a written retirement income plan so that you know where your income's going to come from in retirement. And that's why I developed the core retirement design. You can give me a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
Okay, hey, great stuff. Thanks for carrying the water today, Philip. I really appreciate it. This is so far over my head, but you always do a wonderful, wonderful job. And hey, how'd Shredder Day go? I was going to ask you, how'd you guys do for
Hey, Shredder Day did well, man. We not as well as we had done in the past. I think there's a lot of things happening that day. We got about 3,000 pounds, 3,500 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
We had a little less than 100 folks come through. And then I think the numbers were we raised about 200 and some pounds of food and about $250 of donations for the Heartland Food Bank.
That's great, Phil. That's become quite an event you do every year. And I tell you, we appreciate it. That's a great thing you do for the community.
We love it and enjoy doing it every year. And hopefully next year we'll get a little better participation rate.
All right. Well, hey, great talking to you, Phil. Have a great weekend.
All right, man. Take care, Scotty.
All right. Take care, buddy. There's Phillip Statler, Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring.
Do you actually read your financial statements? Or
hey, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Hope that your weekend goes well. I will be out on Monday. Dave will be here, but I will join you again on Tuesday. Until then, have a great day. Bye now.